Hello and welcome to the fan cams. After the Blues just lost to Richmond in round one of the 2025 season. Oh, wow. That had shades of Collingwood 2022, that sinking feeling about it, walking out of the MCG tonight. That was crazy. A complete capitulation at the hands of the Tigs, mate. Carlton 9 goals 15, 69 to Richmond 13 goals for 82. That's a new low. That's one of the newest lows I think I've seen in this group, and something's up. Something's wrong. And so anyway, this is the fan cams. If you'd like to come on, I'll share a link shortly. If you'd like to come on, share your thoughts. The emotions are very high. Everyone's pretty pissed off. I understand. So let's just see where this goes. Okay. Riley. Hey, mate.
I think the only positive of today is that I'm in London and not at the G. Because that was honestly one of the most arrogant performances I can remember from a Carlton side in the Voss era for starters, but the last 5-10 years. The pure, I guess, we coasted halfway through the second. I genuinely believe we thought the game was over. We started getting cute. We started getting Larry. You let a young side into the game. And full credit to Richmond. I think that's one of the first things that needs to be said. They were outstanding. Yeah. Especially their senior players. But I couldn't even think of 5 players who probably won their battle tonight. When you look at it, overall, a real lack of heart, and that's really galling. Really galling.
I think, especially after they looked so organised and disciplined and mature in the first quarter. I don't know. Maybe there were signs in that first quarter that things were going to turn. Nah, surely not. No, they looked good. They looked sharp. And then it's just amazing when that pressure from the opposition just continues and it's time to go to the next level. It just starts falling away.
Yeah, it looked like, honestly, watching from home, it was like a wet weather game that we were playing. And Richmond got cleaner as the game went along. They were taking territory at, key moments. They were much more composed around the ball. The numbers around the ball after half time, it felt like Richmond had 2 extra players on the ground.
Yeah.
Like it really did. They were running in waves. Nick Haynes, his first game for the club, was incredibly fumbly. It's Sam Doherty, his sub, when he came on the ground. Yes, he got the ball a bit, but fumbly and slow. And they're not alone. They're 2, I think, but I could name 15 or 16 tonight who are in a very similar sort of boat. I mean, if that's the standard that Jesse Motlop sets for the year, and I hate to single out players because it's the collective, but he's that we're talking about as a breakout start. That is not it. That is not it. And I think tonight falls onto the on-field leaders as well. You should be able to stop a wave of momentum like that if you expect to be a final side. You didn't. That is, I think certainly after halftime, Voss and company, they got out-coached. I thought Adamuzé coached an incredible game. They really took away Jacob Williams' influence by just, dragging him out of the contest compared to that first half where he was best on ground for miles from mine. So that is really galling. And the heat is already on for us. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. We were 41 fucking points up.
Richmond chipped away, and I don't know. I guess because of how strongly they started tonight, Carlton, I thought, oh yeah, okay, Richmond are going to give us a little bit, and then I just assumed that no, we're ready. We're ready to be a better team. We'll have our run, and it just never came, and then it just got worse, and then you started seeing them question themselves, and then you just started seeing the work rate fall away completely.
Yeah, and it's the work rate, the pressure around the ground. They so much for that speed and power. That was the trumpeted line
Mate,
of
where
the
was
offseason.
where was the
Where was
mate?
the
Let's
speed
go
and
back.
power?
We didn't even have the contest and pressure
No.
before we
didn't.
started moving on to the speed and power. Wow, that's bad. That's
Like
bad.
that is, it is like that is really bad. And of course, it's round one, so it's important to not completely overreact to that. But that is, if we play like that next week against Hawthorn, we're losing by 12 goals. And then you really quit. Then it's the pressures again and on again. That is the worst possible way to start. I did not envision that tonight. I thought it could have been close-ish, but we get the job done. But the manner in which we lost, it was soft. It was weak. It was weak.
Really weak.
We're weak. How many times do we have players slipping over tonight? How many times did we have? Yes, we laid 70 tackles. I would love to see the broken tackle stats tonight, especially after halftime, because they were just shrugging them off. Kids are shrugging us off. Kids. 18-year-old. We made Tom Lynch, who in that second half, and into an influential player. I don't want to hear one person say tonight that Tom DeConey beat Toby Nankervis. He did not. For more than half that game, great battle. I thought TDK got smashed. He really did. When the going was tough, defensively, he was made to look vulnerable by Nanker, who doesn't really have much forward craft. Collectively, very disappointing. I mean, and for me, one of the blokes I do feel for tonight is Cooper Lord, who getting subbed. I know it was tactical, but he was one of the few that was genuinely giving a dip. He was having a dip the whole time and get subbed off. So what message does that send? How did you see it from the ground?
I couldn't believe what I was watching.
First
quarter, like I said, thought it was a tick. Then there was a dip in the second quarter. I thought that was the most disappointing I would be in the night. And then the third quarter got worse. And then the fourth quarter got even worse. That group on the field is fractured and disconnected. But it's so weird that they looked so connected and then looked so disconnected in the same game.
They can't deal pressure. If you're basing off of tonight and you're basing off of the back third of last year, including that elimination final, they can't deal with pressure. I mean, we coughed up a 32-point lead against. Yeah, we coughed up a 39-point lead against GWS. We coughed up a 3-goal lead against the Dogs. We coughed up a 5-goal lead against Port, and we could see the first 10 goals in elimination final. And then tonight against the side who most people had winning 1 or 2 games this year, they can't deal with pressure. And I thought we actually got over that. I thought we got past that. Like, where's the spine? Where is the spine in that performance and backbone to be able to steel yourselves? Because, and you say it every time, and it's one of the credits I'll always give you, you cannot dominate a game of football for 120 minutes. Richmond, no matter how good or bad a side is, they will always have their moments. It probably came a little later than I thought it would, because I thought it would have been early and bouncy for them, but, that second quarter. But good sides steel themselves. We didn't. Went to water. Yeah.
What time is it in London?
It's midday. So I've got at least it's 7 degrees. There's a little bit of sun, so that's a positive. But look, that is galling. And I think the only reason why we wouldn't say yet it's soul destroying is because it's round 1.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fuming, but there's 22 weeks to go. And if this group, which we've always said is very emotionally invested at times, you can hope to expect at least an emotional response. Now, that's not how a team should necessarily play.
No, I mean, get to this point mid-season and you've had a bit of a struggle, but not round 1.
No. Yeah.
So, anyway, mate, thanks for calling in. Appreciate
no worries, mate.
You being with us. You got a whole afternoon ahead of you. At least people can go to sleep tonight, or not.
Okay, I get to sit on this all day.
Yeah. Take care, Riley. Good to hear from you, mate.
Take care, mate.
See ya. All right. There's a few of you. I can see you're in cars. I'm just mindful of darkness. Can't really see you. Jad, I can see you. Hey, mate.
Hey, mate. How's it going?
Welcome back.
Just ask. I just want to ask a question. Like Riley had some good questions and all that. Do you guys think that we are set up to win games, like in the modern era? Do you think we're set up correctly?
No, Ryan. Nah, I don't.
Yeah. So Riley goes. So I'm just sitting down. So we wonder why we can't arrest momentum and things like that, and it's because like watching them out there today, they just look like they don't have the tools to pull on tactically to deal with it when it happens, because they just keep doing the same shit. Like Richmond are coming and we're still bombing it long out of packs. We're still getting it in defence and just putting it on the boot, getting it as far as we can. I just feel like I've said it about Voss for so long now. The way that he believes the game should be played does not work in the modern era. You need to be able to score from your back half. You need to. And I've just seen all the evidence now that you just can't change my mind on this. I feel like we're just set up with one hand tied behind our back. Look, and I've heard on this channel and other channels lately, like people say, "Oh, it's who we are, you know. That's who we are. We're a contested team. This is what we know. It's our one wood." Well, then, are we all just admitting that we're not winning a premiership? Because it doesn't happen being that. That cannot be what you are in today's game. There's a reason no team plays like us. There's a genuine reason. We're not onto something revolutionary. We are behind. Our ideas are behind. The way we look at the game is lacking, is behind what other coaches do. The modern game doesn't allow for this. And that's why we get on these, like, what do we lead today? By 41? And as soon as Richmond came back, we have no levers to pull on, nothing. It's because it's the way they're set up to play. The way they think about the game, I think it's not modern. It's not how it's played, man. And like I don't want to go on a rant and rave about certain players and this and that. I just want to go to the source, which I think is the coaching.
That's fair. You just saw it, didn't you? You saw when it started breaking down. You just saw the signs of the bad Carlton start appearing, the rushed kicks, kicking the ball off the ground, not thinking their way through. You just saw the panic start kicking in, and then it was like a plague, and they didn't know what to do. And they didn't have the work ethic to work for each other. Maybe a couple did. I thought Ollie Hollands worked super hard to provide an option. But again, we're not doing individuals now. This is 2025. This group's like, surely, they're clearly not. They're clearly not past that stage where we're going to start giving props to individuals. And yeah, man, that was bad.
I honestly just think we're on a road to nowhere. Unless we pull out a completely new way of playing, by round 6, could be all forgotten. But look, is the season over? No, obviously not. Are we winning a flag? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, like, what are we in it for? Do we want to have nothing seasons? Where we finish 8 to 12 to 6. Maybe have a nice upset win against a big team. Like, is that all we're there for? Like, are we happy with that as supporters? Like, I just think, like, what are we there for, mate? We want to be able to be in premiership contention, and we just aren't.
It's all right though, because we're profitable, you know.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, mate. It just seems like, it feels like this is it. And the fact that you don't really know what they've worked on in preseason, I didn't see anything different. I mean, first quarter, maybe a few more handball chain, but yeah. And sitting there watching that, it was a feeling of, for me, it was just a feeling of wow, like, wow, this is bad, but not totally surprising. Like, did you feel like it's a shock? Yeah, but it's not. it's not bloody unbelievable. Like you could see it.
Yeah, well, that's always been in the gut of all of us that watch. Like, I mean, I like my thought going into the season was logically, yeah, I think the team's ready. They got all we need. The max contracts are out there. The players who are on those max contracts are 25 plus, sweet spot of their careers. You build around that. But there's always been this sinking feeling that something can still go wrong and something's not right that can disrupt the team harmony or whatever. And I mean, look at the preseason, mate. What are we dealing with? I mean, the signs are there now. You look at it.
Dude, I honestly just can it change? Like, can you go through such a drastic change later in the year? Does that happen? Like, does it happen? Like, we like the way we don't play footy between the arcs. Like, I think the game is played between the arcs now. Changing the angle, probe the 50, move defenders around just by probing it. Don't bang it in. Like, I don't know. It's so basic. The way we play is so basic, so unimaginative, so simple. And then that's why it's so easy to stop. A bunch of children worked it out today.
Yeah. Well, the work ethic was there for the Tigers. And then you saw it, you watched them get confidence, like, oh my God, we can actually beat them. And it's that old adage, ask enough questions of Carlton and they'll fold. It was that type of day.
When Lawler kicked that goal, you knew, didn't you?
100%.
Oh my God. But fucking whatever, like, good for them. Enjoy it. It's an upset win. They happen. But for us, I don't want to say it's done, but it could be. Yeah, it's about it, man.
Thank you, man. Buckle up for 2025. Hey, welcome.
Fuck me. Only us, huh? Only we could have done this. All right.
Thank you for calling in, mate.
No worries. Thanks, man. Enjoy.
See you. Mars.
Bro, seriously? It's time to go. It's time to go. Super duper Mikael Voss. Sack him now, blood. Seriously, sack him. Oh, and I solemnly believe that. I said to you, I didn't say to you, but I said to a few people last year after that final series, they should have been sacked. He should have been sacked. The fact that he couldn't get this team to lock in for 120 minutes of football says something about him, his playing group, him as a leader, his on-field leaders. The message doesn't get through to these players. His style of play, as Jad said, it is outdated. You're going to win games, but are you going to win flags? What do you reckon, Terry? Like, are you going to win flags?
No, it's fascinating when that contested pressure doesn't happen and you see 2-3 guys attack the ball carrier and don't impact the contest. It just all falls apart like one domino after the other. They
fucking crumble, man. The apple crumble is coming back. They crumble. They wilt under pressure. As soon as the crowd gets on their back, they got no way to rectify it. Did you see in the third quarter? The third quarter, on the center of the square, it was Akers. 50-50 challenge, looked at his opponent and said, I'm not up for this. That was a massive turning point. That was disgusting. That's genuinely the worst game of football I've seen us play. Now you're going to say, oh, no, you're taking this out of proportion. That we're 4 years.
No.
We're 4 years with this coach. With this coach now. 4th year. Right? This playing group as a core group, 8-9 years. You're telling me that you can't lock in for 120 minutes of football against an academy team with a few champions in there. Jack Silvani went up forward and looked better as a forward for 5 minutes than our whole forward line did for 115 minutes of football. What was Kemp doing? I'm not gonna people are gonna go, oh, how can you not single out? I'm looking at fucking Ollie Hollands, complete opposite of Akers, middle of the MCG on that center wing, put his fucking body on the line. Bro, he went straight through in the Richmond player. And you know what? He got up like a fucking man. He got up and delivered and went on again and on again and on again. I'm looking at TDK. Use your strengths, bro. What are you good at? In the air. Bro, jump over Nankervis. Why are you bodying him up? What happened to our midfield after halftime? What happened to the midfield, bro?
That is a great question.
Started off like a house on fire. First quarter, perfect. We took their sting and we capitalized. When we had to go forward, we capitalized. That second quarter, you could slowly see. And as you said before, they were chipping. They were just chipping. They were still in the game. They were in it. But you're thinking as a Carlton supporter, that's all right. I think they've given us their best shot. But I solemnly swear, and I think that they were thinking their game was done. It was done at halftime, that we've broken them. Again, to Riley's point, the fucking arrogance, the cheek of them. You've achieved nothing in this game. You've done nothing. You've achieved nothing in this game. With this core group, you've achieved nothing. Motlop, what are you doing? Blokes on the bench, bro, smoking spliffs, bruv. What are you doing, man? You're giving me all these fucking bullshit pre-season games. What are you giving me now? Chera started unbelievably. We're missing Walsh, Cripps, your leaders. The one that stunk it up the most for me. You know, I love this bloke, seriously. But the thing he said pre-season, we're in no rush. Harry fucking Mackay. When you go home tonight, look in the fucking mirror and tell yourself if we're in no rush now. Because you just got towed by a bunch of 18-year-olds. Bro, you got blokes fortnight emoting in the middle of the fucking G doing somersaults, bro. They're fortnight emoting on us.
Backflips at the MCG.
Bro. These blokes fortnight emoting on us, bro. Fucking deeper, bro. Bro, we pay our money. We all pay our money every year, bro. Every fucking year, bro. I'm seeing our fans clap them off after the full time. They were clapping them off again. You can't be clapping this off. Bro, you can't. You can't. You don't, people, I don't think people have deep the severity of this loss. Bro, we lost to a bunch of 18-year-olds, bro. 18-year-olds. Bro, 1,500 millimeter handballs, bro. 1.5 meters. Sam Doherty. You can't hit me that. You're fresh. You can't hit me 1,500 mil handballs, bro. Nick Haynes dropping sitters, bro. This bloke's a scrub. You can call this overreactionary, but I've seen this for far too long now. I've seen it for far too long. Bro, I'm serious. Bro, blow the thing up, bro. Blow the thing up. Our team defense is, bro, it's nowhere. It's abject. It's nowhere. It's fucking atrocious, bro. It's embarrassing. This team, you know, people go, yeah, we got champions. Do we? Do we really? Cripps, bro, if you're a champion, you're kicking that goal, bro. What is that? What is that? Don't get me wrong, bro. 2 Brownlows. We've got champions everywhere, apparently. Everyone, we've got champions. Champions win things, bro, as a team. We're not boxers. We're not UFC fighters. We're not WWE wrestlers. We're not tennis players, bro. It's a fucking team game. Champions are the collective, bro. So, look, I'm going to get off because genuinely, I'm really angry.
Yeah, I think you've articulated yourself.
Bro, I articulated myself how Mars articulates himself.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely angry. I haven't been this angry in a long, long time, man. In a long, long time. But they've burnt us tonight. That was selling, bro. They're selling. They're either betting against themselves, like 95, or they seriously don't have it as a playing group. And don't get me wrong, fucking Lucas Camprioli, mate. I thought he was good for a first game. Some of the times we put him under pressure, bro. The handballs to him, 2-on-1, bro. Bro, come on, man, bro. Bro, I'm done, bro. Bro, I'm telling you now, they got to sack him. Bro, I swear they got to sack him, bro. They got to get rid of him. Yeah. But anyway, I'll let you get on to your next because I know you're going to be here for a long night. We'll catch up maybe for a beer or like, it might turn me to something else, man, that I've never been on.
Yeah.
I might become a footy player at the end of the year, bro. Give me Ozempic. Bro, I look like my McGovern cuz. Don't worry. Give me Ozempic cuz. Trust me. I'll be beautiful. Anyway, Terry, love you. I don't know. TJP, 7 p.m. on the Tuesday night. If you want to tune in, it's going to be explosive. Sorry for dropping that on you, but
you have a good night. No, you're good. You're good.
Take care and everyone enjoy and don't go too
crazy. Okay. Paulo.
Oh dear. Oh dearie me. That was not good. God bless Mars.
I thought he did well. I thought he did.
I thought Mars performed sensationally well. I thought he was in check with his emotions, and I will give him the 3 votes for tonight for staying in control of his emotions for as best as he could.
No, because the club will try and demonize the fans, and
it's all our fault. It's all our fault.
Yeah, it's our fault.
Screaming over the players' race, it's our fault. Asking about Elijah Hollands, that's our fault. What else is our fault? Getting angry at the AGM, you can't do that. That's our fault.
Raising questions about the dick pic, that's our fault.
Yeah, that's our fault. It's all our fault. Never the players. No. You've got to mollycoddle the players. Do you know what? This was the first time for a long time that Michael and I sat at the game and really did not show. You know what? We weren't surprised by it, which is a damning thing, I think. And I just sat there and laughed for probably the last 45 minutes of the game. That was probably the worst. That's the worst game I've ever seen us play in my 31 years of following the club. Just based on what we've picked up, where we're at, where we've come from. That's the worst game I've ever seen us play. And I've seen us lose to Hawthorn by 120 points. I've seen us lose to GWS when they had 17 to 16 players on the field. That was bad. That's the worst I've ever seen us play. And
how does it look so connected and then so disconnected? Was I seeing things in the first quarter? Because I thought it was brilliant early.
Yeah, it was sensational. On. Yeah, it was sensational. And then I think they drank their own bathwater for the next 20 minutes. And I was worried about. I didn't really know what to make of the first half. I thought, okay, well, Richmond showed a little bit there. We're 4 goals up. All right, go in, reset, and go again. Okay, fair enough. Opening, first game of the season, Richmond showed a little bit similar to what they did when we played them the second time last season, where they came out in that second quarter and they put it on us a little bit, and then we blew them away. But we're 41 points up. We kicked 4 goals in 3 quarters against Richmond, and I want to single out one player, right? And he's not a child anymore. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt pre-season when he was on air with us, and our boys wrote an article about him and what he said about grand finals. Harry Mackay was he was an abomination tonight. The attitude, the mentality, the body language,
mate, the will to compete.
Shocking. I would love to have grabbed him at halftime in the locker room and just pinned him and just said, mate, come on. You are 6'8". You're 105 kilos. You're being ragdolled in every single contest. Did he win one-on-one tonight? Did he bring anything to ground? Just compete, mate. That's just the basic thing we ask you for. We're not asking for a lot. And then after halftime, I just my concern, and I want to single out and point out the coach, and my concern going into the year, and you know how many times I've said this in the lead up to this season, and what I learnt when I went to London from Luton Town and speaking to their managers and coaches and doctors, that defensive discipline when you have a team that is at the peak of their powers is how you define your coach. Our defensive discipline tonight after quarter time was an abomination, an absolute abomination. And that is all on the coach. I know people will blame the players for that, but that to me is all on the manager. And that is a big sign. And how he also manages the egos in the dressing room. Those are the two things I've wanted to look at this year. And based off the sample size of this 120 minutes, he should be gravely concerned about his future as coach of our football club, because tonight we had how did we have no answers? We had no answers, none whatsoever. Jack Silvani, as Mars pointed out, was our best key forward for 10 minutes of football in the last quarter when the game was on the line. And outside of that, it was terrible. Brodie Kemp, that's not going to work as a key forward. If you can't do it against Richmond, how are you going to do it against Collingwood, Hawthorn, Brisbane, Geelong? Come on, honestly. To me, as far as I'm concerned, he's on borrowed time now, the coach. It's as simple as that. And this is not just because of round one, right? This is a culmination of last season and now coming into this season. Where have we improved, Terry? The team that went out there, right, as a core was similar to what went out there the second time against Richmond last season, and we beat them by 10 goals, right? They have arguably become more inexperienced, probably a little more talented given what they picked up in the draft, right? We haven't really changed a hell of a lot, maybe a few positional changes. How has there been a 70-point It's a 70-point turnaround, Terry.
Did we bring in a different
point turnaround?
Did we bring in any new coaches to the group over the off season?
If we did, they're doing a worse job than the blokes before.
Because that would say we have the right group coaching the team. We're going to back them in this year. And the final third of last year was just due to injuries or whatever it was. I mean, the blessing is you're exposed straight up. There's no false dawn. And this is a really awful thing for me to say about the team. I didn't want us to win that game in that last 5 minutes because, and I'm being honest, deep down, I'm like, nah, because a 1.2 point win and they'd get away with it.
Absolutely,
now it's just out there for everyone. This is it. The honest truth's here, and they've actually capitulated. And that's
disgusting.
Terrible to think. That's terrible to say.
Disgusting. They were disgusting tonight after quarter time. Terrible. Every opposition supporter that laughs at us right now should be laughing 10 times harder. And I know people will be in the chat and all that. All that stuff's irrelevant to me, but we deserve to be laughed at, right?
Yep.
The way in which a lot of these, and it falls back on the players as well, inability to want to defend, inability to want to play the bait. And again, it comes down to egos. You want to play Hollywood football after quarter time. You want to go long. You want to bomb the ball. You want to try and kick the casing off the ball every single time. You want to play glitz and glamour football. Be our guest. They didn't do that in the first 40 minutes. And look what happened. Moving the ball around sharply with purpose, methodology. We're getting ahead of the ball. We're winning our contests, winning our one-on-ones. You're 41 points up. And what did they think? They thought it was all done. That's what they thought. And that is about a coach and a manager managing egos, and he can't do it. You heard the stories about quarter time at GWS where they were patting each other on the back, and coaches and people inside the club were saying, well, maybe they got too far ahead of themselves in that game. That's on you as a coach to manage that. Where have we improved our defensive discipline? Still the same issues. Goal from a stoppage. Again, early in the game. Pathetic. McGovern, kick off the ground? That's a droppable offence, mate. That is a droppable offence. But that comes back to defensive discipline. It comes back to defensive discipline. What is the messaging from the coaches and your line coaches in those particular moments that from brain to body to foot to decision makes you think that I'll dink the ball off the ground into the corridor while the game's on the line because that's the best option, not picking up the ball and playing the percentages. Senior player, Terry. Not a kid. Not a kid. And the kids, not to absolve them tonight, they weren't the ones to be blamed for what happened tonight. Where were the senior blokes when it was time to stand up? Again, the same problem. Harry Mackay, brother, mate, come on, give me something, mate. Just give me something. Just whack a bloke. Just show me that you care. Show me that you care. His performance tonight, like I said, I wanted to let him off and give him benefit of the doubt into what he said, but there's an inkling into the mentality. Are you in a rush now or are you still going to wait? What are you waiting for now, mate? Because you're 3/4 of the way through your career. You ain't got long. In the blink of an eye, as Rocco said, mate, it's gone. 5 years is gone. When did we start this thing? When did we start BA? When did we start all this content? We started at 5-6 years ago, and we're still talking about the same things, the same problems, the same scapegoats, the same players, the same issues. The coach, the board, the players, the leaders. Defensively, we're poor. We don't know how to move the ball inside forward 50. 65 inside 50s to 40 against Richmond when you're 41 points up should be an obliteration, but it's not. Because we continue to kick the ball on the heads of our players. Because do you know why they did that? Because they felt the pressure. They started to panic and they rushed it and they tried to force it. And when you try to force it, it means you're not composed. We don't have those players. Simple as that.
But Paul, we have a medical imaging center that we're about to release, mate.
Oh my God.
Which, by the way, didn't we have that in 2014? Didn't they used to put like Levi Casbolt in the suit and they could see the load that was going and didn't we already have that? They've like wrapped it up in a bow and it's the new imaging center.
The medical imaging center.
But Paul, we're profitable.
Oh, mate. You know what? I'd rather lose 10 million a year and actually win. Run it at a loss. Like I said to you, my concern leading into this season is that we are a commercial entity with a football club just attached to it. And I thought that had been put to the side. I thought we hadn't gone down that path. But, and Mars said it too. And even Adrian, Big AD, said it as well. They've either, I'd be checking betting accounts, they've either thrown that game or we are in for a long, long, long season. There is no way around what happened tonight, right? There's absolutely no way around it. And to think that it's all just going to sort itself out, this is not one of those ones where it's, first game, okay, we're a bit scrappy. No. This is grave territory. And I fear for what's going to come next week because Hawthorn will pick us apart and obliterate us again if we produce what we did. And my fear is that we're going to go into our shells next week and start to sit back and try to protect because we know we're coming up against a better opposition. Hawthorn are a better football team than us, let's be honest, right? Right here, right now, Hawthorn are miles ahead of us as a football club and a football team. And they've had a dynasty, rebuilt, brought in a new coach, and they're going to be ahead of us. And we're still here at square one, doing it all again. And my fear is now that we're going to, well, not a fear, but I think we're probably going to have to start moving players on if it continues like this. Simple as that. There's no two ways around it.
Soul searching in round one.
But the issues were there, and whether or not we failed to see them in the off-season, we're starting to hear a lot of off-field stuff that I'm not really liking. And again, we said, give it the benefit of the doubt. Just bounce the ball on Thursday and let the football do the talking. But now I think some of the things we are hearing between players and coaches and off-field issues are starting to manifest themselves out onto the football field, which is a big concern of mine. And look, again, I can blow up and go crazy, but there's just no point. I'm over all of that. There's just no point anymore because, as far as I'm concerned, there were blokes out there that just really didn't care tonight. And as harsh as that sounds, that's just the reality. What you saw with your eyes after quarter time were blokes that just went through the motions. A lot of the senior players just went through the motions. So, a lot of issues, mate. A lot of issues, and I fear for next Thursday night. Next Thursday night's going to get ugly. And again, what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen. This is the week. Every single training photo, every single social media post, every single question in the press conference, every single bit of content, every single bit of communication from the club, coaches, players, media included, is all going to be about one player. One player. And you know who it is. Charlie Curnow. He is going to save our souls. Charlie Curnowism. Everything revolves around him. And look, he will improve us. Of course he will. But, oh dear.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Welcome back, mate. Carlton,
A pleasure.
2025.
A pleasure. Enjoy the fan camps tonight. Try to keep a smile on your face because ultimately, if they don't care, why should we?
We'll have some fun with it. Thanks, mate.
See you soon. See you.
There's a few super chats here. Gokhan, this club has taken us to some very, very dark places. Tonight was a new low. I agree with that completely. Yeah, the Dolphins, it's amazing how quickly this team can forget the fundamentals of how to play the game. Shattered, astounded, hard to find the words, really. Casper, I think the Hawks will win by at least 80 points next week. Vic Wide renovations. Every time we came out of the back half, we butchered the football after the first quarter. Yeah, we did. Okay, so I've got a good chunk of people here in the waiting room. I will put the link in the live chat once we've gotten through these people. And then if you want to call in, you're welcome to. All right. Joe, hey, mate.
I couldn't even keep a straight face coming on. Fuck, man. Fuck.
Do you know, you want to laugh? I referenced you in the first quarter. My brother in the first quarter said, I'm bored. And I said, don't you fucking dare.
You know what? Yeah, like I'll use my time to like maybe make a few people laugh. So we did our podcast last Sunday, third episode for the year. Season predictions. Jules had us winning the flag. I had us runner-up. We spoke about surprises for the year. I said Nick Haynes could be in our top 5 of the best and fairest. Like, I was telling people all week, no, well, it'll be 60 points at halftime. Fucking hell, man. What are we doing? What are we doing?
What, like,
no,
at this point, it's just a waste of time.
Tonight, Tez, I actually didn't get upset. I'm still not upset. I actually almost don't care. It's pretty sad. Like, you could see him coming back. I thought, all right, they're on a little run. They had a bit of pep. They're your home side. They'll give a yelp, but, better sides usually stem the flow. They'll have their 3-4 goal run and we'll put them away. And they just kept coming. And it just kept coming. And I just kept laughing. I was just laughing. I was literally laughing. But, like, not even ironically, I was laughing. It was making me laugh what I was watching. And like, I looked around at the bay at one point just to see what people's reactions were. And they were ropeable, they were stunned, and I was just sitting there going, why are we still shocked? Why does this still surprise us at this point? Honestly. What are we doing? What it just doesn't make sense, mate. It doesn't make sense. You can talk about it all you want. You can come up with. I listen to Paul, and Paul's very knowledgeable, and I respect Paul completely. But at this point, who knows what the issue is? You can say it's the coach. You can say it's defensive mechanisms. We can talk about system. We can talk structure. We can talk about the players. We overrate the players. Who fucking knows, man? This has been 30 years. We're kidding ourselves. Like, this is just ridiculous at this point. It's ridiculous. It doesn't, I thought it wouldn't get worse than the elimination final. First half, 60-0. That's worse. So then, like, so now I'm thinking, okay, what's next? Like, now I'm telling myself it's actually going to get worse. So what's worse than that? Because every time I tell myself it's not going to get worse than this, it gets worse. Mate, these guys are kidding themselves. Kidding themselves.
Can we come back from this? Is it too much of a dent in your view, or is it too early to tell?
Mate, I'm not one. I've told you many times. I don't usually read into interviews, and I still hadn't up until tonight. And you and I even spoke a couple of weeks back over the phone when we spoke a little bit about these interviews from like Harry and Cripps and Walsh, and they're talking about flags don't define you as a player, and Cripps is saying I've got a really good footy life balance at the moment, and Walsh is like dancing around the question, and I didn't think much of it at the time. Like, you know what? Like, they'll show us that they care. No, like, I don't read into that stuff usually, but with the context of tonight, they don't care. They're telling us every time they're in an interview, they don't care. Like, that's it. They can't. You can't tell me after tonight that you care. So why should we give a shit at the end of the day? Why get amped up? Why get upset? Why get angry? Why let it ruin your weekend where you've got the fucking world at your fingertips to go do whatever you want, really, over the next 3 days? Why mull on it? Like, if they don't care, why do we get so upset about this shit? Just stop expecting it.
Because we do. That's where this disconnect seems to appear. Because the fans only care about winning games of footy and winning premierships. But the club is made up of 7 different KPIs, one of which is winning premierships, but there's 6 others. And so you spread your focus on what it means to be successful in a season. And then every year,
mate, this is 30 years.
Yeah.
Forget about the last 3 to 5 years under Voss. Forget it. Like, I don't care at this point. You can't tell me that it's going to change if we change things. We've gone through how many different playing lists, how many different core group of players, how many different coaches, how many different presidents, CEOs, footy bosses. Mate, like, set whatever KPIs you want. I mean, it runs so deep at this point. I actually don't think there's a way out for this football club. I think that's it. My fear is that we're now St Kilda. That's us. How we are closer to St Kilda than we are to Richmond at this point. You know, it's a similar analogy to what someone told me about Arsenal, who's the team I support in the EPL. We're closer to Blackburn than we are to Real Madrid after 30 years. Blackburn's in League One.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Heavy breathing after one round, mate. I can't believe they lost. I can't believe they lost like that, dude.
Hey, we bumped into each other pre-game. We were smiles, happy, good to see you, man. Like, and Jules's mum, Grace, turned to you and she goes, "Well, what happens if we lose?" And you went, "Oh, come on, it's just not going to happen." What the fuck? doing? What are we doing? Tez, what the fuck are we doing as supporters, man? Honestly. We are beyond sick. Beyond. And I think tonight was the nail in the coffin for me. It's like, if I'm going to the footy, I'm not expecting shit anymore. You just can't. You just can't with this team, man. There's no excuse for that. There's nothing.
Yeah. Fair enough, mate. Thanks for calling in.
Just before I go, what were your, take me through your emotions, right? So first quarter, we looked good. We actually did. We looked good. We looked like we were moving the footy well. I thought Richmond pretty bad, clearly. But then take me through your emotions as you're watching it unfold from halfway through the second quarter to the final siren.
To be honest, I felt like I was pretty in control. Like, yeah, I was pissed off, but I felt in control of my emotions. I mean, I was like laughing, and then obviously it got frustrating. I think deep down I thought they were going to win. And then, like I said earlier, when there was about 5 minutes to go, we made this passage of play. I actually said to myself, wow, this is going to cover up. They're going to do it. I always believe they're going to win. And then when the reality of, oh, wow, we're actually going to lose this game kicked in. I mean, yeah, you're numb to it now. To be honest, I had more angst walking out of the G, coming home, thinking, okay, how's this going to go, than them actually losing, because this is the brunt of the emotion of the supporter that we feel here. To be fair, it's been a great session so far. You know, and sometimes it's easy for the external to just point at the fan and say, oh, look at the nuffies, you know, look at how crazy they're being. But I don't think anyone has said anything completely unreasonable, given it's just after the final siren, and given, you know, and maybe there is something sad in that too, because I'm starting to see us lose our passion.
Well, we're just like, it's like something died.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
mate, there's a darkness. There's a darkness.
I said to a few of my mates tonight, like 2-3 years ago, I'd be ropeable. I'd be like angry coming on fan cams. And like tonight, there wasn't a single point in that game where like it hurt. Does that make sense?
I get it.
Like,
because you've learned how to brace for it. You've learned how to brace for it.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just like how much more can they let you down?
Yeah.
Like, you've seen it all. So when they put the nail in the coffin in the last minute or whatever it was like, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sitting there with my head in my hands like, oh my God, what am I watching? It was just like, okay, whatever. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Anyway.
I'm going to roll on, but we'll see you Sunday night, 7 p.m. Almost Blues Brothers. Well, we might. I think we will.
You'll see us. I don't know what the show's going to look like, but you'll see us.
Yeah. Thanks for calling.
Good luck tonight, mate. Good luck.
See ya.
See ya.
Jeez. Let's get Andy in. Hello, mate.
Terry?
You there?
How you doing, bro? Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me?
I'm good, mate. How are you? Yeah. You're a bit choppy, but I can hear you.
Sorry, bro. I'm on the train. A lot of Richmond people on this train, mate.
Can I get you back in when you're sort of like... All right. Young Zach Borg.
Oh, Terry, man. What are we doing to ourselves, man? I'm so fucking... Oh, my gosh. Like, why should we care anymore? As a fan base, why should we care anymore? I mean, every week, like, for the past, ever since this process has started, we've gone nowhere. We've gone absolutely nowhere as a club. You know, like, tonight was just utterly just disgraceful. I mean, first half was great. I mean, we were 41 points up. Halftime we were up by 25 points. What happened after that first half? I don't understand. No one cared. Like, Nick Haynes was dropping uncontested marks. Obviously, he was not the only player that was, you know, like, what's it called? You know, he was not the only player that was not performing well. But Harry Mackay, I mean, one of your senior players, you know, getting outmarked by someone who is half his age. I mean, come on, man. What's fucking going on? And then they're emoting on us at the end of the game. That's disgraceful.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was embarrassing,
Terry,
mate. It was
I'm just
a
embarrassed.
rough night. You just add it to the collection of the bad losses that we've watched over the years.
100%. Yeah.
And
How did you see the game? I mean, that was just pathetic.
yeah,
I mean, just
look,
so many things were just bad.
it was just the will to compete at the highest level fell away drastically. And then all of a sudden those 50-50 contests were going Richmond's way. And you just watched Richmond gain confidence with each one. And then, I mean, maybe watch the replay tomorrow. Or probably not, but maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
I actually would be curious to watch the replay just to see from Richmond's point of view when they really believed that they were going to win the game. Because you give a team like that a sniff, they'll take it, and they did.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Yeah. I mean...
Anyway.
You're going to say something, or do you? Or...
No, go for it, mate.
I mean, why should we care anymore? I mean, you know...
Well, I think we're in it for a different reason, mate. I think we care...
Yeah.
I think we care because it, like, Carlton means something to the fans that is different to what it means to the people who are running it.
But they're destroying us, Terry. I mean, tonight there was just no heart. There was no fucking anything. I'm really sorry for mine, but they were just disgraceful. And we've been here, you know, you and the fan channel been here. We've been, you know, the same process. I mean, Hawthorn has won what they won their flags, right? Rebuild it for a few years, and then they're ahead of us. We're going nowhere, Terry. There's no style of game plan. The game plan's outdated. Everything's outdated. I mean, we are far from a premiership. If you're going to dish that up next week against Hawthorn, mate, we're going to get blown away. I'm really sorry, but I don't want to be pointing fingers. I really, really hate doing this, but I think the coach has to be pointing fingers at the coach because this is the last thing I'm going to say, but his lack of, like, you know, you know, and it was said before, you know, the defensive, you know, effort and the ego and, you know, defensive discipline. I didn't see any of that tonight. And a manager, you look at all the good managers in the world. Let's just exclude AFL. We'll keep with AFL for a second. Look at Scott, right, from Geelong. I mean, look what he has. He's delivered. You know, he's won a couple of premierships. You look at the managers all around the world. They have that determination. But Kingsley, we see the way that he coached against Collingwood. Vosters does not have that. He's outdated as a coach. I'm sorry, the game plan doesn't work, and it's just it was shocking. Like a positive from tonight. Just the last thing I'm going to say. Sorry, was some of the young kids.
Wrap it up. Yeah,
because Cooper Lord, I don't understand why he got subbed off. He really gave it a go tonight. I think he really gave some heart. You can't be pointing on the young players because the leaders did not step up. I mean, I don't know what to expect next week, Terry. I'm just done. Thank you for getting me on. And
no worries, mate. Thanks for calling in.
Night.
You too, mate. See you, Zach. To 2025 Crips Blitz. I think everyone needs to calm down. Injuries hurt us tonight. Imagine adding Curnow to this team. We have the best list in the comp. We'll be okay. I get people are hurting, but this chat is far too negative. We all bleed blue. Let's trust what we have and just see where we end. It's a great team. Fair enough, mate. Snowkel. Hate to say it. Always would have been a handy small to have. LS Damaja. This club will never get it together. It's a deep-seated cancer that no one within the club will even admit exists. Simon.
Terry, how you going? First time, mate. Not the right time to come on. Can't believe it. I was thinking about my car. Can we on the fan camps tonight? Going to see Terry, going to be celebrating, and my partner's Richmond. Oh, it was hard work. It was hard.
Disaster, mate,
I've seen
disaster.
it for too long now. So, but it's is there a cooling off period with memberships or anything for the Blue Report? I was so happy today. I was pumping the air, and I said to my partner, I said, "Cooling off period, quick change teams." No, but it's the way it is. But yeah, logically, this doesn't make sense. Stats, it just proves experience in games maybe sometimes means stuff all, because on paper, you look at all of our experience and our age demographic, just you think we win. But then you just see what evolved tonight. And a lot of obviously all the callers tonight on the fan cams, they're just, when you got that theme of the same message, I think we're somewhere in the ballpark with what's going on. Tonight I was trying to, work out how we were playing, a bit like yourself. First quarter seemed good, but we're also getting a lot of one-on-ones. The forward line seemed open, gave Kemp a chance, gave Akers slotted in. It felt like there was a lot of good transition. But like in soccer, they started to flood back those numbers a lot better. And a lot of their goals just came on the breakaway from defence. And it's funny, if you say, Wiedering, who had a great game, mind you, is that wall, you look and go, he's dominating, he's controlling things, great. Well, so was Vlosten at the other end. And I think that was having just as much havoc because we just seem to not be able to handle that long ball. I don't know what it is. It's been a problem for years. And we've got two big forwards and we still can't work it out. And yeah, I think as the game went on tonight, obviously, as you saw, the confidence changed and that was it. And I mean, a big thing for me, I said to a lot of my Carlton mates last year, I think we missed a trick when we started to lose that form. We started to lose those few games. All the good sides, I've noticed, the top 4 to 8 sides and the successful sides, they seem to be able to implement kids throughout. They seem to be, even when they're winning, they'll blood one or two, and they kind of just, the mesh in, and then by the end of the season, they played about 10 to 15 games. We've got this thought pattern that our best 24 is our best 24, and that's it. And what excited me about round 1 tonight was we were playing a Camporelli, we were playing a Lord starting. Obviously, there was Haynes as well, but he's more of an older cat. They played Evans. So I thought to myself, well, that's a good sign. We're starting to realise a few of those things. We're starting to try and develop players. But unfortunately, as the night went on, I felt for Lucas. There was a couple of times, Hewitt, Cripper, they just tried to do too much. And Lucas was there for a couple of handballs. And I'm thinking, this kid's he's getting in the spots. He knows where to go. And sadly, we just couldn't get the ball to him. And it just felt like everyone was trying to do too much. Even TDK, I know he had a lot of the ball and and his effort is there. But you try being a midfielder when your ruckman's going up and he's just trying to do everything. It kind of makes the other midfielders irrelevant for those stoppages because they're wanting the tap, they want the hit zones, they want all these kind of things to happen. So I felt like everyone was trying to do too much. Even Cripper in the last quarter, he was trying his guts out. But yeah, they were just trying to do it all on their own shoulders, and they lost that team ethos. And unfortunately, our bad is pretty bad at the moment. And there's only one way I reckon this will all calm down is if we win next week, because then we can say, okay, it was a mare. We've not, we've learned from that, and we beat a potential top 4 side. But right now, unfortunately, I've been a big faith on Vossi. I think when he came to the club, he did stabilise us. He gave us something. We had no brand. He gave us something. But unfortunately, I think as the years have gone on, it doesn't look like we've evolved. We look like the same, relying on the bash and crash mentality. And it's just, you see someone like an Uze, you see, Sam Mitchell, you see all these, they were great players, etc. But at the end of the day, they are just modern coaches, and we don't seem to be able to revolutionise as we go on. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't. You know what? We're all very numb. You can see it. We're not even crazy angry.
No, it's just kind of like we're doing fan cam since 2019 when Jack Noons kicked the goal after the siren. That was the first session. So 2019, I think there was that second half of the season, up and about, Teague train, all of that, bit of positivity. 2020 is going to be better. 2020 wasn't better, COVID affected year, but a COVID affected year for all clubs. 2021, even fucking worse. Sack Teague, the review, all of that. 2022, we start to finally get a bit of something. It ends brutally, but there was something. 23, awful start. And then for a lot of this generation who have never experienced a premiership, it was the best thing we've seen. 24, it seemed to be a continuation and then a capitulation. And we're one game into 25. And it's like, really? Like, you're doing this now? Like, really?
Yeah. It's the momentum too, isn't it? I mean, in games you see it. When we crack, and even now, geez, it's going to be very interesting to see how we evolve now in the next couple of weeks. It is a huge 2-3 rounds coming up, because if we go 0-3, let's just say, unfortunately, all those old rebuild or change of coach, and I think for once we actually haven't been Coach Saki, which has been great, because I thought, well, for once we're trying to add some stability, but at the same time, we can't just if we were playing a style of football that during the season was kind of ebbing and flowing, like, being adaptable, I guess. I actually don't mind the crash and bash in finals, because that's the kind of footy that gets played. It's very, generally low scoring. It suits us. The problem is we can't do that from round 1 to 23 or whatever it is, because the fatigue kicks in. You can see it, and we get a lot of injuries from it as well. So, we just can't get to that spot to try. So who do we say is at fault, or what do we do? To me, that's why I like to see kids add spark, speed, and I just think they've got to try something completely different. And tonight, few of the leaders did not stand up. I mean, Richmond had 4 or 5 experienced players around all of those kids, and they just nurtured them beautifully. And we couldn't even, just do what we needed to do to get the job done. But again, a lot of guys I didn't think played well tonight, and you can say it's a mare, but you're right, guys like Harry and stuff. These are the leadership group. That's my concern. When your leadership group struggling continuously, what's
in the
the
prime
next
of their
step?
careers too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but Terry, I'm going to let you go. I know we've got a lot of our blues on the line and stuff, but thanks for taking the time. And look, next week, if we can pull off the miracle, watch the flip side, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks for calling in, mate.
No worries, mate. Take care.
See ya. Yas or Jim?
Going on? How are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
You gotta laugh. Like,
yeah,
honestly, because we've done the whole traumatizing depression, and like, mate, sometimes I feel for the players, and it's like, what's the environment that they're operating in? Like, I have disdain for upstairs. I have a disdain for certain things about the business of the club and the greed and the arrogance. And I do sometimes wonder, do the players feel that too? Do they see that as well? Do they have a disdain? Like, it's all so confusing to me. It's all so confusing to me. And they're so far up their ass as a club. And it's just mind-boggling.
that's the disconnect.
Yep.
That's the disconnect. So I don't think the players know what it means to play for this club. That's the disconnect. I've been thinking about it for a couple of hours, listening to everyone, but they don't give a shit about the fans. That's just the truth. Because if they did, they wouldn't lose to Richmond in round 1. That's as simple as that. It's just, don't listen to what the club is saying. Watch what the club is doing. That keeps running through my head. That saying. They're the nice club on paper. They say what they think is the right thing to say. They're so well media drilled. It's sickening. They deliver that.
That's what they are. It's disingenuous. There's a lot of disingenuous activity happening.
Yeah, agreed. And that fucking game plan sucks. Straight up. And I've been a supporter of Vossi, but when I looked at this team on paper going into round one, I'm looking at our wing, thinking bit of speed there. I think this is where we go into our new era, youth and senior players. And we don't even use our pieces correctly ever. Versus Richmond. And I'm a dickhead saying we're going to win by 89 points all week because it's what I felt looking at everything. Mate, biggest mug right here. Hilarious. But there's a huge disconnect in this club. And I wish they would sit and actually watch fan cams as well, because I don't think anyone said anything ludicrous. I think everyone's been pretty spot on. Everything that Paul said and Joe said and you've said and Mars, I've agreed with every bit. So I'm trying to go from a different angle because I don't want to repeat what I already feel that other blokes have said. So it's just a super disappointing night. And I'm very worried about round two. So what do you think happens next week?
You want to know the truth?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say because I feel the same.
I know you're all thinking it too. I know you're all thinking that it would just make sense if we beat Hawthorn next week. I know you're all thinking it.
I'm thinking the opposite. I am. I'm thinking 3-figure loss. And I'm not
wow.
I'm the positive. I am. I come on here, I'm very balanced, positive. I think they're going to roll out the same bullshit all week. Oh, Charlie's back this week. It reminds me of the collars last year. I'm glad I didn't buy that fucking Guernsey as well. It reminds me of that. Charlie's back. It's all good. And then dog shit. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're right. But I don't want us to lose. But also tonight, you mentioned something that's interesting to me. That last 2 minutes, I thought we were going to win. But I also did not want to. For the first time in my life, I wanted to watch us lose. Because we didn't deserve to win. We were terrible. After quarter time, it was just... it was such a mess. Just no composure. And think about it. That game plan, bro. Imagine you make it to a grand final and we dump kick into our 50, 40 times, 3 fucking goals. Like, do you really want to watch us playing a grand final if we ever get there playing that way? Because it ain't winning. And again, I've been a supporter of Vossi, but, and I'm not saying you should go, but mate, this game plan right now, it's no good. Let's just call it for what it is. It really is no good. I agree with Jad. He's been calling it for 18 months. He saw it early.
Years, mate. Years. Yeah, he has.
Yeah, you're right. Even longer, maybe. Probably 2023, and then he probably got back on board that second half. Don't blame the bloke. But I've felt it for about 12 months, but tried to be positive. I really want to see the 5-year plan out because I think it's important we see something out for once and not just sack everyone every time, rinse, repeat, because genuinely we're 2 years away from a rebuild if it goes poor. And you know it, and it makes me sick. Because I can't be fucked with another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fair point. Yeah. Well, mate, yeah. Thanks for calling in.
You're welcome, man. Good luck.
See what happens.
Hopefully can get a bit of luck next week and we win. So, but who knows? Anyway, take care, bro.
See you, mate. Ben Leonard, how can we worry about game plan when multiple senior players can't hit 20-meter kicks or 2-meter handballs under not a lot of pressure? Can't game plan for that. Love you, Tez. Mate, love you. Love you. Hey, Frankie.
Way, how you doing, Tez?
I'm doing good, mate. It's
Health and
12:15.
well-being check.
Pardon?
Health and well-being check.
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah. It's early in the season, so I feel like I'm well equipped to deal with. This is something I would think comes later in the season, like this kind of loss. This was like Hawthorn last year at the end, like that all bubbled and whatever. So I'm a bit shocked that we're doing this, like the bad loss now, and kind of reminds me a bit of 2021. Bad loss, good win, bad loss, good win. So we'll see. But
It's an interesting strategy from the higher ups that they don't even get a decent run up to sell all the merch before we start playing badly.
yeah.
Well, quick story. When I was 16, I was diagnosed with leukemia and had to go through chemotherapy for about 4 years. Like almost lost my arm, bunch of stuff. So it comes from a very good place when I say I would quite literally rather have cancer again than go through watching that game again.
That's deep.
Actually, I had a thought on the way home. Are you familiar with the Greek myth of Sisyphus?
Remind me.
It's the guy that gets punished for his hubris and is sentenced to roll that boulder up the hill for eternity, and it keeps, like, every time he gets it to the top of the hill, it falls back down. And that very much feels like us for the last 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there is, again, it is one game, but there is that fear of implosion coming.
Yeah, of course. And
Because
like
it's all too familiar.
logically, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we've felt it a million times before. And like logically, I know it's like, okay, even Richmond before they popped off and became a dynasty, they finished 18th the year before that happened, and then like, you know, Sydney lost to Richmond somehow last year and made the grand final. So it's definitely not all doom and gloom. But I just had like halfway through the fourth quarter, I think, I just had a flashback of watching. Do you remember the interview that you showed of the club psychologist?
Yeah.
And that it's just, and obviously I don't want to like be out of line or blame anybody for anything, but I feel like if you boil down every problem that we've got, it's pretty much comes down to mentality or playing emotionally, which is something that, like, it's good, but it's not consistent. And it really feels like, I don't know, hearing what the psychologist was saying about needing to protect the players on all the social media stuff and whatever. It's, to a point, is fine, but it's just, I don't know. I just saw that clip in my mind during the fourth. I don't know if that speaks anything to you, but
No, fair. I mean, there were 80,000 people there tonight. I don't know how many of them were Carlton supporters, and however many 100,000 people watching the game that were Carlton supporters. So, I mean, our minds are going to be going in all sorts of directions, you know?
yeah, for sure. But yeah, just hopefully we figure it out, I guess.
Stronger together.
Yeah. At least we're providing shareholder value.
Look at us, the customers, the pawns. Yeah.
Great.
Well, mate.
Well, I'll leave you to it. Thank you for having me on. Yeah. I'll see you next week.
See you next week. All right. Andy, you good?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right.
Bro, you're on a different level having to do what you're doing right now. And this is why, like, you know, we respect like what you do, because I don't know how you do it. I've been losing my mind since fucking halfway through the second quarter. Bro, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think the players respect Voss as a coach?
Yes, I do, but then obviously when you see tonight, it's like, wow, that wasn't respectful to a lot of what their instructions were. But in general, yeah, I am a team Voss guy. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely not a team Voss guy, like at
Yeah.
all. I saw everything I needed to see for me happened in the final last year against Brisbane. That for me was it, like the way he, had no clue. But I thought, new year, we'll see how we go. Clean slate. I don't know, bro. I don't know. There's so many things that concern me tonight. So many things. The players, just their effort and effort. I say this all the time. Effort shouldn't even be spoken about. Effort is a non-negotiable. You should just bro. We don't know how to kick a ball. We would give effort. Effort is just what you do, and we just lacked effort. We lacked desire. We lacked composure. We lacked leadership. There was so much lacking. And you can point fingers at players, and I'm sure we will over the coming days, and I'm sure people have already on fan cams. There are so many players, you know what I mean? It's like too many players, that it's not just one or two anymore that needed to step up. Like, man, back in the day, people used to pile on Lockie Plowman, poor bloke. Bloke used to get the shittest job every week, and everyone would pile up on him. And now you got players who we talk up. Man, this football club is, and I copped so much shit for a video last year that unfortunately went viral of me losing it because I said it's a PR club. This club is all PR. I don't think winning is their priority. I think money is their priority, and I get that. But winning premierships, winning games is not their priority. I think there's so much else happening. And listening to everyone on fan cams tonight, it was a bit choppy for me. I was on the train. But usually people are losing it, and I didn't see many people losing their minds. And I think that speaks volumes of how much that the club has put us through. Like, people are almost numb. Like, this is what we're accustomed to. This is normal now, and I don't know if you felt the same, like talking to these people, but have you noticed a shift in energy?
For sure I have. For sure I've noticed, because I mean, I can give you 5 sessions of the fan cams which have just gone, AWOL. And I think, this whole concept has evolved from what it was at the start. It was all new, and so naturally, I can guarantee you now what we see now from fan cams is such a more mature version of what it was at the start. And I feel this. I feel this notion from not just the club, but just the industry in general. Like, the fans are stupid. The fans are the nuffies. Oh, look at them go. They're acting up. They're crazy. They're screaming. They're shouting. They're being, stupid fans. And you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing that behavior turn, and we're starting to talk, because this is the most emotional time after a game. And we're starting to talk while we're in this emotional state with a little bit more thought and care. And I think it's great. And I think that's how the message will start getting across. And I'll tell you now, man, I'll ask you, is it the players' fault? Should the energy be directed at the players, or should the energy be directed at the club?
I used to really dig into some players.
Yep.
But we can't be recruiting players who don't know how to play. These players have come from a system that has taught them how to play the game. And there's no way that we've just managed to be the only club in the land that can recruit uncoachable players. Now, I'm on the club. I think it's a club issue. And a few years ago, I told you, Terry, I said, are we just another Melbourne? Are we just another St Kilda? And Melbourne won a flag after I said that, but Saints are still nowhere, but so are we. and it's a club issue. It's a board level issue. It's a coach level issue. There are worrying signs at every single level. And when you've got players like Harry coming out saying, premierships don't necessarily whatever he said. And then even Cripple was talking about, like losing a couple games, and Voss and Walsh, the language coming out of the club in the preseason didn't fill me with confidence, and
See, I thought it was what I thought about preseason was there was no hype, which I liked. No one was talking shit.
Mhm.
No one was, because you remember when, 10 years ago, Murphy, Gibbs and that were saying, the time is now.
Yeah.
Nick Malthouse can't see
They
us
know we're
losing a
coming.
game, that sort of stuff. So I thought, no hype, great. This is perfect for us. No one hyped us up. I thought they weren't hyping themselves up. I thought, okay, they set themselves up for a year of action. Maybe this is a bit of a lag effect of, maybe the Elijah thing hurt, like you lose one of your teammates or whatever's going on in that situation. There's that bit of sadness with Jagger, bit of sadness with Newman, the head of the whole thing, the president, but there's a fracture there. Like, is it fair to say that we're just too close from that and we need to just wait a little bit for that to settle? Again, don't know. But it's just a really poor way to start the year. The only positive I've seen from this club in 2025 is the GWS practice match so far. That's it.
Yeah. And I didn't really I didn't look into that too much, because to me, I was looking at one team who knew they had an actual game the week after, and it was good to watch. I saw some exciting signs, but again, did GWS really care? Like, that's, and we played like we were GWS that game. Like, we looked like we were second to the ball, and when we got there first, we were fumbly, and we had the top end of our list making rookie errors. They were just shaky, and I'm really worried about this season. And it's only one game, and I know it's cliche to say it is only one game, and we've shown that we can turn things around. But they're going to have to earn our trust back, and they're going to have to earn our love back, I feel. I mean, we're always going to love the club, but there's a bit of resentment there, I think, with a lot of fans and the football club. And I think performances like this, again, on every level, from the president to the orange person, like a loss like this and a performance like this, you have to earn people's love back and people's trust back, because we won't be able to enjoy games, man. Like, how can you be 41 points up, looking pretty good, and then just like that, it just goes. That worries me. That's not a good team. Good teams don't do that, and I genuinely don't know where we go from here. Yeah, look, like I was speaking to Morris earlier, Morris well.
Yeah.
He said, hey, man, we'll probably come out next week and smash Hawthorn,
Yeah.
And the thing is, we are probably capable of that. If I'm betting on it, I'd absolutely put everything on Hawthorn, but you're going to tell me that, we aren't capable? Absolutely, we're capable, and we should be capable.
My sickness is
I know.
leads me to believe we can win. You know what I mean? Like, we can win next week. We all know we can win next week.
Of course.
And it would make perfect sense. It would also make sense if we get belted, but it's just so bizarre. Like, what you expect, the opposite will happen. Anyway,
man, I told myself at the start of the year that I just want to enjoy footy this year. Right? Last year, I used to really fixate on so many insignificant things, and if we had won the premiership, I would have looked back on it and I would have thought, man, I can't believe I complained about that. And I went into this year saying I just want to enjoy it. Whatever comes our way. I was not expecting this, bro. I was not expecting this. Oh, man. Hey, the socials are going to go off this week. Telling you. Numbers through the roof.
Yeah.
Terry?
I spoke to...
Good luck for the rest of the night.
Thank you, mate. I was going to say, I actually spoke to Andrew Wu from The Age. He asked me this question. He's like, you do better numbers when you lose. I said, yeah, but honestly, like when you lose, it takes a toll emotionally, like spiritually, like, well, you get extra views, but like you're fucking cooked, mate. Your soul is like hurt because like the fans who are really caring hurt, and it's like, yeah,
the energy seeps through, man.
Yeah, it does. It does. But I think, to be honest, I kind
That's
of expected
why-
worse than that, if I'm honest.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Like I was watching the guys you had on, and like I said, I was going in and out, but I didn't see much like rage.
Yeah.
Like I expected more rage, and look, I'll probably rage in a couple of days, but right now I'm just like, okay, well, we lost very, very badly. And I can't process it. I'm just trying to process what just happened. There's so much that happened and didn't happen. So I don't know, man.
See how we go, mate. Thanks for calling in.
That's it, bro. Thanks for having me, mate. All the best. Catch you next week. See you, Tess.
Absolutely. Okay. Joel.
Hey, Terry.
You saw it, you smelt it, you felt it, you knew it, you sensed it.
Yeah. And everyone calls me negative on this channel. Not everyone, but most. Anyway, I was just going to start off with some good news. Congrats on your mention your article in the Age newspaper today. Good work.
Cheers.
Or yesterday. What is it? 12:33 a.m. on a Friday.
12:33 in the morning. Yep. It's a school night. What are you all doing up?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I'm actually looking at my notes that I have to. The next class that I have to teach, the title is the title I've made for the class is Making Sense of the World. How ironic is that?
Joel.
Yeah.
Do we have an identity issue as a club?
Did I mention that already?
No. I've thought about it for some time now. Is there an identity issue with the club? Because I see the definition of what it means to be a Carlton person said in a different way depending on who's saying it. Do you believe that there is an issue with a collective understanding of who we are and what we are?
I don't know. I haven't.
It's a real 12:30 a.m. question.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck. I mean, that's that. Of all my notes that I've taken, that wasn't on them. But
yeah,
I don't know how to answer that, Terry. Obviously, you've been thinking about it. I have. Yeah, what? It's just from what you've just heard. You just sort of a quantitative analysis that you've put together from hearing people.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Just I've spoken about competing interests before, and how they overlap. I mean, at the end of the day, this is one big complex organization with so many moving parts. And one thing isn't the most important thing, but I think obviously to the fans, like the time for winning and being successful and the like is now. In our eyes, we think we're in a window. We think we're in a top 4 window.
No.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's getting to that point. You just don't know.
Yeah. Shame on you, Carlton. Shame on you. Yeah, it's because all I could think of was I was just trying to think of a line from a song, or I was just trying to because I mean I feel like it's kind of we've all seen this movie before with Carlton, and I mean it doesn't surprise me at the least, and and I was just trying to think of a song, and it's the Eagles song sung by the late Glenn Fryer, who I happened to meet. And one of his songs is called Heartache Tonight, and it says somebody's going to hurt someone before the night is through. Somebody's going to come undone. There's nothing we can do, which is pretty much accurate, right? I mean, yeah.
We have entered the batshit point of this session.
Yeah.
Batshit crazy.
Yeah. I still think, look, it's just the oligarchs. The oligarchs are running this club. And I think that's, we've got, why can't we just be a North Melbourne or a Hawthorn who just don't operate in that way that we do? And I think that's fundamentally probably still the issue. I think there's a lack. I mean, there's a lot of selfishness still at the club. And a lack of leadership. And I mean, because we can just blame the players. I mean, this is a 20, 30-year crisis we've been looking at. And ultimately the fish rots to the head, I think. I mean, I've always had my doubts on Vossi, and he might not be. I mean, I said at the end of last year, I didn't think he was the man, and but it's the people that appoint these people. So that's the real issue, I think. Because we don't have the players. I mean, yeah.
The thing with Vossi, I mean, I'll take your mind back to 2019. The sentiment with a lot of fans was, we need someone in the coaching box who knows what it takes to win premierships, and or just who knows about the essence of winning. I think, and that's ultimately where my confidence in Voss comes from, because I think that man knows about the essence of winning, and being a player in the modern, 2000 onwards. That's where my confidence comes from, and passing down those lessons to Cripps and this leadership group, and his ability to dig out of the hole. And now it's almost like, oh, we've got the guy that's won premierships, and now it's like, oh, that's not good enough. We want the tactician. But that was Brendan Bolton. He was the tactician, So is it a case of we're just looking at what we don't have? Because,
I know there's lots of things that go. I know. Well, 2000 and when did we get Voss? 2000, whatever.
22.
So it didn't happen with James Hird. Didn't happen with Buckley. I mean, and they've been there, done that. I mean, Buckley got close, but still didn't end up to chocolates. But I mean, you think, oh, the club's in a powerful position now, and financially at least, and yet we still can't get our shit together on field. All these years later, we had the Pagan, the Moldhouse years, and the club was fractured apparently, and yet the scapegoat was the coach. And so that's where my mind's been going tonight. Other than the game plan, other than clearly we don't have the players. We just have these high-priced recruits who just go missing. So. I think the thing I said to you on the other day was looking to see some of the young players, how they went. They did okay. I would say. I mean, I still really admire Sauce Jack. I mean, I think he has a crack. The guy gets put in every fucking position on the field, and he has pride, mate. He has pride.
Yeah, that's a great word. He does have pride. He has a will to compete, and he has pride. He's one of the few left that play like he's a part of something. Yeah. I made the comment about
the game. He almost won us. He could have almost won us the game, and if he stuck a few of those marks, and which is ridiculous. Which is, who would have thought? The guy's hasn't played for 600 days. Fuck. It looks like. Well, yeah. I mean, I can see TDK walking, which is fuck. I mean, if we lose TDK, that's really bad. So, and I was just thinking about when Voss arrived at the club. It's like, he's like, oh, let's write our gets the book out, and he's like, let's write our new chapter. And I'm like, yeah, our new chapter is going to be fucking the same as the last few, which was shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Look, I just don't see it, mate. I think, look, look, this is the last straw. I think this tonight was the last straw. Really, seriously. How many chances do this playing group need and this coaching group need? But then I'm not really laying the blame totally on them. But anyway, so yeah, here I am. It's going to be a struggle for me to make future fan cams, I think, Terry. It's looking that way. I don't have much hope.
Mate,
You've got a channel to run. I don't have a channel to run.
people will come and go. People will come and go. I found. I mean, I think the preseason, the way I did the preseason my preseason was to prepare for like the onslaught of it all. So I'm fresh, round one.
Yeah.
You know. And I think this showcases the care factor of the fan base, which is like, it's beautiful.
Oh, of course.
Like it's beautiful and if anything, it's showing, like this passion and pride and sense of belonging to something and caring. Like it's sort of shows itself that there's
well, that's people, the fans make,
you know. Yeah.
Well, ultimately,
there's a pulse of something there with magic in it. And we saw when it all aligned for half a year how magical it was. So, let's just hope that it's the kick up the arse that they need.
Like it was just, and even like when I mean, obviously you were at the game and the TV, they kept showing the bench, particularly in the last quarter, and I'm not going to name names. I could, but. Yeah, a lot of them on the bench, the staff were clueless. And it was just like, oh God, it was just terrible. And it's just going to be interesting how this all blows up, really.
Well, look, we've got a season ahead of us. It's not the end of the season, it's the start. It doesn't look great now, but let's see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Do I have anything else to say?
Mate.
No,
Thanks.
Hopefully some fans now sort of, look, it's not about me, but I was just going to say, some call me the Oracle, but
mate.
But I mean, it's
negative, positive. It doesn't matter. Whatever you feel is what you feel. It's fine. You're welcome here. Don't worry about your people that don't want to hear negative stuff. It's all good.
An inbuilt crap detector is what I have. And I see crap and I don't.
Fair.
Like
well, mate, I'm going to move on.
Yeah.
I'm going to move on, but thank you for calling up.
All right. Good work fronting up. I knew you would. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers, mate.
See you, mate.
Oh, dear. Webby.
All right, Terry.
Hey, mate.
What do we say? What do we say?
Don't know if there's too much more.
They don't care, Terry.
Yeah.
They don't care, mate. Like, heaven forbid if supporters arc up at the AGM or question this, question that. Heaven forbid if that happens, but as soon as the fans start questioning the team, they get so protective, don't they? So protective. Like, this is a Richmond team full of kids with a sprinkling of senior players, but kids ultimately, and frustrating.
It is frustrating.
Frustrating, Terry. Not good enough.
Of all the things that you thought might happen, did you see a loss coming?
That wasn't on my bingo card, no. But our fans were so entitled going into the game. They were saying, 10-goal win, 12-goal win, 15-goal win. What have we done for 3 decades to go into any game like fucking that, Terry?
That's a fair question. That's a fair question. Who do we think we are?
Who do we think we fucking am? We've done nothing. This team's done nothing. They're just mentally weak. They're soft. Soft underbelly, Terry. Like, when they got within 2 goals, you could hear their fans, their crowd. And I knew then, oh, fuck, it's happening. Up until then, I was okay. But, like, if you don't put young teams away and let them stick around, this is what happens. We are the meme club. This is why we are the meme club. This is why opposition supporters have laughed at our football club for 30 years because of what happened last night. Last night, we are supposed to be a top 4 team, right? Supposedly. And we got beat by a team who's at the start of their bloody rebuild. It is not good enough. It's one game. I understand that. There's another 23 games to go. But it's not a good start. It's not good enough. Like, this game plan, nowhere near the level.
No.
This game plan has not evolved over the 4 years Michael Voss has been here. What changes did you see Voss do tonight in the second half?
You mean like in game, or do you mean like with the team
In-game,
that?
yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
in game.
In game.
Well, Jack went forward late.
Yep, I saw that.
Did Chero go behind the ball? Was I dreaming about that? Did Chero go behind the ball?
I didn't see Chero go.
Okay.
I didn't see it, but
Man, I'm sure something was done. It just, the thing is, I don't know. The tactics are the tactics. Understand that, the way that they're set up and their field positioning and all of that. I get that, but none of that really was going to matter when you saw the will to compete fall away the way it did. Like that real, life or death effort defensively. Like, of course, it was going to break down because
they wanted it.
That's what apparently
they wanted it more than we did.
They did, and yeah, they did. They were hungrier. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Hungrier. That sets off red flag for me. Hunger and red flags everywhere. Like we know our issues. Our coaches should have known over the preseason what we had to work on, but looks as though we're just doing the same thing we did last year. I don't see our game plan has evolved from this year from last year.
Yeah.
It's the same crash and bash and play Jack in the pack.
Yeah. Webby, I'm going to move along just because I kind of want to move towards finishing. I'm getting a bit. Just I don't want this to be like the Hawthorn one where we went for 4 hours. But thanks for calling in. Love your passion as always. And
thank you.
I'm sure. I don't know. Am I sure that they'll respond next week? I hope they'll respond next week.
Mate, it's just written in the stars. We're going to beat Hawthorn. It's written in the stars. This is what happens. We're going to get smashed. We're going to get smashed in the media, and you watch. You watch, Terry. I'll call in this time next week and say, I told you so. I told you so.
Okay. Webby, get a good night's sleep, mate.
Thanks, mate.
See ya. Hey, Jeff.
How are you, mate?
Calling from Thailand.
Yeah. No, it's all right. It's not too late here, so it's all right. I'll just move.
What'd you make of What did you make of the performance, mate?
I was a bit like you, mate. I thought if we win this halfway through the last quarter, it's very unjust. We did not deserve to win that. We win by default. But there's been some interesting comments there tonight, I thought. Especially with the club's got a problem. And it was interesting to hear about the club's not football first. It's probably all about themselves first. Accountability on players. I've played a lot of sport in my life, and a lot of people have. And you go out on the field and you tend to give it 100%. Richmond went in at quarter time, made the adjustment, cleaned us up. What are our leaders doing on the field? Where is the leadership to make the adjustments? Or do we have a default that we go back to and start and say, right, let's lock it down, let's put pressure on. Pressure's everything. I think one of the commentators said it tonight. He said, even if your team lacks talent, everyone can put pressure on. That's not difficult. And I reckon we deserve a refund from membership because that's pathetic. Something's going on. We'll see next week what happens. Not going to look good. Not going to look good. And Jay Sauce, God bless him, he really played well tonight. You know, tried his guts out. And he was struggling because he's not match fit. But, geez, make some changes. Make people accountable. Put the seconds in. Don't stuff around. Just these big blokes that think they're big money and all that crap, piss them off. Don't worry about it. Put them down to the twos. Come back when you can play football. Come back when you can manage football. Come back when you're going to play for each other and play for the team. Get Mark McClure in there to give him a lecture on how to play for each other and how to play for the club and the logo. The rest is bullshit. Oh, happy families and babies and all this shit, and we're all fucking happy. What a load of crap. You're playing football here, you're getting paid shitloads. The general public pay money for memberships and buy bullshit off the website. Everyone's struggling at the moment. It's not easy. And to dish that up after we build up the hype of the whole pre-season, okay, might be wrong. 3 weeks' time, we might turn it around. I do think the players have to really, really have a hard look at themselves. Maybe get Ed Curnow to have another camp down at Torquay, right? Get Ed on board because no one else can fix it, honestly. Get them on the piss, go out and come to Thailand. I'll take them on a golf tour. That'll fix them up.
We're doing the it's like we're in the hole, but like the hole isn't after half a season. The hole is after the first game.
Well, it's probably a good thing to happen. I said to my mate Andrew here, I said, look, I do not want them to win tonight because if they get away with this is crap. Oh, look, we got away. We're good at getting just over the edge. Not good enough. Let's get the accountability started now. And I'll tell you what, the fans tonight, okay, some of them are ropeable and we all understand, but there's going to be a point in time where the fans group together and it's going to be a pretty strong, what would you call it, a heavy burden for the club to put up with angry fans, and we're going to vote with memberships. I don't know whether we're over 100,000 yet. I don't think we might get it after this.
No.
People will be disgusted with it. But anyway, we'll see what happens. We go forward from here, but just keep all the rhetoric going. It's all good stuff. It's all going to get back to the club. They're all going to get a groundswell. Everyone's pissed off. Best we do something. Change the coach, change the players, do it. Change something, because 3 years of the same shit is stupidity. You know, you got to change up something. And accountability and truth is the first thing. We got slaughtered by injuries last year, and there's a lot of players coming back. And to be honest, we had a lot of new players in as a group for the first time. There's probably about 12 or 15, you could say. I mean, the guys that have come back off injuries for 12 months, they're like new players again, in with the young guys. We got some other young guys there. There's a few good fellas in the twos. Put them in. Give the other blokes a rest. Oh, you must be mental in the head. We will give you a bit of time off in the twos. You can think about it. Believe me, that'll fix them. Anyway.
Love your work, Jeff.
Yeah,
We'll,
good on you, Terry. Thanks for your input, mate. It's really good, and your patience. And to all the baggers out there, don't lose hope. 30 years, we'll be right. It'll come. It'll come.
Good on you, mate.
It'll come.
Cheers.
Take it easy, and we'll catch up, eh? But,
For sure, mate.
Thanks very much. And
See you, mate.
next week's another week, isn't it?
Bring it
Plenty
on.
of content for you, mate. Plenty of content.
For sure. See you, mate. Hey. Chris Beach.
Was 2023 a year we entered the twilight zone or something? Because now we've started another one against Richmond. We've started another one against Richmond, and somehow, after being 41 points up, we've given a 9-goal turnaround. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 9. A 9-goal turnaround to lose by 13 points. What is going on?
Can someone confirm how many goals in a row did the Tigers kick at the peak? I don't remember. I'm going to guess it was 7, 8. Was it 8? Did they kick 8 goals in a row?
Honestly, Terry, I've got no idea. I mean,
Was it 5? Okay, 5. I swear it was 7 or 8.
It was 5. Okay.
It was
Because
5. Okay,
felt
so
like
5,
more.
and then we kick one, and then they. Okay, understood.
Yeah,
Okay.
It felt like more. Okay.
Yeah.
It seriously felt like more because, I'm thinking UB, first quarter, footy's back, we get away beautifully, everyone's playing, synergy, chemistry, intensity, effort, focus is all there. It's all there. Second quarter, still there, but they're chipping away. Third quarter, the flat line. The flat line you don't want to hear at a hospital bed or whatever is playing. And Richmond think, oh, hello, this animal's bleeding. We're going to go. We've got a taste of it. And look what happens. They feast on the carcass.
Yeah. Can we respond from this? Or is this too much of a dent? Like, what does it do for your optimism?
I am very concerned about next week. Okay.
Yeah.
I am very concerned. Okay. I watched Sydney versus Hawthorn last week and I thought, okay, was Sydney that bad? Were Hawthorn that good? I have questions. I had questions then. I still have questions now. However, after what I watched tonight, I have a very real concern that if we put this up to the Hawks, players like Sicily, players like Ginnivan, players like Amon, players like the Wizard are going to feast on this and they're going to follow up what Richmond did to us tonight.
Yeah. I can't wait to watch the press conference.
Mate, you have my respect if you're going to watch that. I'm trying not to push myself through that because I was raging at the game tonight, and there's a good chance I'm going to be raging at the press conference if I watch that tonight. So I'm going to try and save my mental stability for that. However, I have to mention, and this shouldn't deserve a mention, but I should mention it because I saw it when I was at the game. They went to Michael Voss in the coach's box, and he's looking at a laptop like I'm on now, typing away. I'm like, and I see this, and I'm like, hey, do something. Get on the phone. Send a message out. Anything. Don't just sit there typing away. You need something done here.
David, pick up the phone there.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. But that one was what? 19, 20, 21 goals in a row against the Power at Adelaide Oval. Oh, boy.
Well, I appreciate you waiting up and calling in, mate. It's good to see you and speak to you. I kind of wish it wasn't like this, but we'll see what happens.
Well,
Hopefully it's just the big kick up the arse that they needed, and all of a sudden they go on a magical run. I don't know.
I tell you what, mate, this better be a kick up the arse that we need, because there are oppositions later down the line that once this season gets going, they'll look at this and think, right, if we can get them to do that against us, there's 4 points in the bag. Okay. I'm not going to go through all the sides now because it is nearly 1:05 in the morning and I should be going to bed. But yeah, you know the point I'm trying to make. And if we push this, if we keep performance like this up, oh boy, mate, it's going to be a long year and we're going to need more than one therapy session to talk it out.
Yep. Beachy, thanks for calling in, mate.
Thanks, Terry. Thanks again.
See ya. All right. Got 3 more and then we're going to call it a night. I know I didn't put the link in the chat. There's no need to go longer than after these 3, to be honest. I think most of the things have been said. Peter, Aiden, Mark. Let's go. Peter?
Hey,
any final thoughts, mate, as we look towards the end of the show?
Paul's boss right now. I'll be doing.
I can barely hear you, mate. I can barely hear you.
Yep.
Good. How are you?
Yep, pretty good, mate. Well, now I'll be seeking a special citizen with a Bupa called a massage, just like we did in the start of the year, because it's going to be a very downhill from here on if they play like they play.
Sorry, Pete. It's like you're muffling. That's better. What's that?
I'll come back, mate. No worries. I'll come back.
I got you now. You're good now. Whatever you just did there, it sounds better now.
Right. Yep.
Hold the mic to your mouth wherever you were doing.
Yeah, nice, mate.
That's better. Go for it.
Yeah, sorry, mate. If I was Mr. Voss right now, I probably would have just said to myself right now, are you out of your depth around you? I don't know anymore, mate. But you know what? The only positive is it's only round 1. If we play like we played tonight, it's going to be a very long season. I'm not saying it's over yet, but a lot of heads need to.
Got to switch on. They do.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Man,
Pete?
Best of luck. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Aiden, mate, you there?
Yeah.
What do you got for me, mate? Okay. He's gone. Mark. Fair enough. Aiden.
Oh, I'm back. I accidentally left. What's there to say? That was bad. That was really bad. I don't know. If I can say one thing, I had a look at the press conference a little bit, and he smiled. And then I switched it off because I'm like, if it's all fun and games to him, then clearly we shouldn't care. Because at the end of the day, Terry, it's fine because we've got 95,000 members. Because that's what the club cares about. Because I don't know. I don't know. Genuinely. There's nothing. There's nothing to say now. What do you say? It's the same thing every year. We haven't improved, and I understand it's one game, but Terry, you're not going to improve
in a week. Trust me. Like the kicking, the handballing, the connection around the ground, you're not going to improve that next week. And if we play like that next week, it's going to be worse than last year. I'll tell you that. And yeah, look,
What if we win? Not just saying it to be cheeky, like genuinely.
yeah.
What if we win? Because tonight was seemingly the game that we couldn't lose. So anything is possible. What if we win? Does
It
that just
depends how
mean tonight was an abomination? Like, what if we win?
It depends how we win.
Mm.
It depends. Because I don't trust them anymore. Like if we win ugly, like let's say if Hawthorn play shit and if we win ugly, it's not gonna like all right, we won, but like no, like they need to now make a statement, and I am begging that this is the loss that clicks them into gear now. They have to.
Okay.
Because the next 3 weeks it doesn't get easier because we supposedly had the easiest run of the start of the year, and we've fucked our first so-called win that people predicted that we were gonna do tonight, but we didn't. And I feel like that there are a lot of players that can't handle the pressure of the club. Club's probably too big for some players, and a lot of players just didn't care tonight, which is really, really unfortunate because they're good players. All of them are good, and I don't know what the problem is. Is it the coach? Well, he's clearly at fault for tonight, and if he's not in big trouble now internally, he has to be now. Or is it the club as a whole? So, yeah, I genuinely do not know. Honestly, it looks to me that nothing's changed, and they spoke all preseason about we tweaked a little bit of things. We focused on defense a lot. No, that was out the window. Nothing's improved, and I don't know what we're trying to do. Like, how are we trying to play? Like, I don't know, because I know how Hawthorn play, how Sydney try to play. I don't know how we try to play. Like, I don't know. But like,
yeah,
with Voss, sacking him and everything like that, I would give him another year. But if the next 4 weeks are the same as this week, I'm afraid that my opinion might change with him. Because the time's now, Terry. As much as Harry said, oh, there's no rush. Cripps said, oh, we're going to lose games. And Boss did the same thing. There's a rush. You're 28, 29. Cripps turns 30 in, 3 days? So there is a rush. The time is now. You can't fuck around anymore.
Thankfully, it happened now. Because
Well, you say that, but like, who knows what might happen next week in the next 23 weeks of the year? Like, will this break them mentally, or will this actually make them realize that they need to wake the fuck up and now go for it now?
find out in the next few months, I guess, mate.
We'll find out indeed.
You have a good night, my friend.
You too.
See ya. Okay, I'm going to call it there because anything past this point is just no good. No good for the headspace. What can we look at, though? We can't watch the presser, unfortunately. Such a shame. Such a shame. Yet there's no other content out. Fair enough. No, look, let's leave it there. It was a very disappointing night. It is the first game of the season. There are many more games to come. On the one hand, on the other hand, is it a sign of things to come? We'll find out. That part hasn't been revealed yet. But thanks to everyone who tuned in. If you have been with us for a while, just know that there is a Blue Abroad membership available now. Link is pinned to the top of the live chat if you'd like to join us. We've got all sorts of, hopefully it's not therapy all year, honestly. Hopefully this isn't one of those 2021 years where it's just dreadful. But do appreciate you being here. Do appreciate all of the support that you show. And yeah, it's a really weird way to kick off the season, but you know, we've been doing this long enough. We've been through bad losses before. We're going to watch more bad losses in the future. And that's just the way it goes. Make sure you get to sleep and go for a nice walk tomorrow. That's the mission. That's what I'll be doing. Otherwise, see you in the review. That'll come out tomorrow morning at some point. And then the ratings on Sunday with Pommy into the Almost Blues Brothers. And we'll just have to sit with this one all weekend until next Thursday. So have a great night. Take care. Go Blues, I guess.